together, and we try to amaze each other with facts about our world and how we found out those facts about our world enough that someone else will say,
Holy fucking science!
And today we are joined by Lou. What are you playing
Are we
at?
streaming? I don't think we're streaming.
Yep.
We are
Yeah.
streaming. Okay,
Put it.
perfect.
Okay, good. Well,
Okay.
The stream is happening for the SciShow Patreon patrons. Thank you, SciShow Patreon patrons. Hey, Lou, how's it going?
It's pretty good. How are you?
Good. You got a bottle of Jaeger here. Why'd you get that bottle of Jaeger?
It is a celebratory parting, if you will. I will be leaving shortly.
Lou is leaving us, so we're starting out on a real low note.
Yeah.
You've got like
Drink up.
one day left. Is this your last day?
Today is my last day.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So Lou's going out on a high note, but we're starting the podcast on a low note.
Yeah.
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 We'll bring it back up.
Yeah.
He's got like a pint glass of Jaeger, for those who are listening.
Well, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
It's-
This podcast is brought to you by Big Sky Brewing. So
Yes.
the rest of us are drinking beer.
Yeah, I'm the
But
punk ass
Lou-
of the party.
Lou has to have his special drink
Yeah.
to celebrate.
Well, that's
yeah.
fine. Big Sky, thank you for the beer, but not for the Jaeger. You did not get that for us. That was Caitlin's gift to Lou.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your work making Holy Fucking Science happen. But you're
Yeah.
and many other things that you have done over the 4 years that you've worked here.
4 years. I just realized that when I looked at the parting gift as well yesterday. I'm not going to talk because I don't know if it's like a secret gift or not. But okay.
I'm not sure what you got.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
It's like it's not a secret, but
Okay.
Marianne was just like secret about it when she gave it to Lou
Okay.
because she didn't want anybody else to want it because she didn't want anybody else to leave.
no, it's I shed a tear because it's beautiful.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It looks like a Nickelodeon like
I know.
crag from what's that show?
Global gut? No.
Guts?
Yeah,
what's
from
an
Guts.
aggro crag? Is it
Aggro
Guts?
crag. It looked like the a piece of the aggro crag.
I don't know what you guys
I
are
don't know
talking
what
about.
these words
Yeah.
are.
I
Guts.
think Hank, you were just
Guts
too
is
old,
a
and Ceri, you're just too young.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I was much more of a Double Dare era.
Oh yeah,
Of Nickelodeon.
that makes sense.
Yeah. No slime in this gift. It was a nice piece of carved something. Yeah,
Nice.
it was very nice.
we don't know what it was. We're not gonna tell you. It's shit. It's just a piece of carved, just a giant
It
dinosaur
was all
shit.
of
being
everyone on
carved
the
into-
SciShow team.
Yeah.
We put our shit together.
No,
Right.
no,
And
no. Oh, good. I did read a thing that turned out to be fake. In prep for this, I was like, I wanted to know if there was, because I know that a lot of people do fecal transplants. Sorry, we'll get to our introductions in a minute. But a lot of people do fecal transplants outside of the medical establishment.
Right.
So if they're having digestive issues and they think like, I've heard that this works, so I'm going to take my friend who's got really good poops and I'm going to put their real good poops up my pooper and I'll have good poop because I'll get their gut bacteria.
Right.
And this is a thing that hasn't been a ton of studies done. I mean, there have definitely been studies done that like fecal transplants help with Clostridium infections, but not so much with just like IBS or even IBD, which are two different things for whatever reason.
I just learned that in researching this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to know, like, if there'd been any like citizen science done on fecal transplants, and I found this website that was a parody of I Fucking Love Science, the Facebook page, and I think it was called I Don't Fucking Understand Science, and it was about how if you give cigarettes to people who work at nursing homes, they will give you poop for your fecal transplants, because otherwise you have to go to the doctor or talk to a friend about it, because that's and I was like really not sure if it was true until the last paragraph, and I was like, this doesn't seem right, this doesn't, and then I was like, oh, it's definitely not right.
The directory of a marketplace, you'd see that cigarettes for equal amount of poop.
Yeah, at the end it was talking about like you bring along a big garbage bag, so you don't know how much you're gonna get.
Is that how much it takes?
No.
I mean, is this like a trial thing? You have to
Gallons of
continually. Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It does not. You don't have
Okay,
to. You don't
okay.
have to. Just like, how much shit can I get up in there? You also have
Stuffing a piñata, but like
Poop-yata.
in your body.
You become a shit pinata.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of are.
I've definitely like on like the fourth or fifth day, and it hasn't happened. You start to feel like a shit pinata.
That's like my new favorite phrase. Like,
Shit pinata.
that's been a rough day. I feel like a shit pinata.
Yeah, Oren didn't poop for like 7 days.
Whoa.
He was a total shit
Did
pinata.
his like body mass
did you have a
double?
solution?
Like wow.
The solution was
Just wait it out?
The doctor was like, if it goes for more than 7 days, we can start to talk about stuff. And then he went for like 6 3/4.
Oh boy! Wow.
And then
I bet you the face was just like. Oh,
it happened while he was it happened while he was asleep.
Okay.
I think he woke up when it happened because he was like, I'm not happy. And we were like, why are you happy? And he was like, I'm not. I don't know. And it was like, oh, it's because wow. Okay, I think I know why. That's a next level shit in there, friend.
Welcome to the world.
Right.
Also, we are joined by Ceri Riley, the coiner of the phrase "shit pinata."
Piñata, that's like, who needs my job title? That's what I do now.
You should. I mean, there are certain contributions to society that should carry you forever, like how Alfred Russel Wallace basically was given a stipend for his contributions to the theory of natural selection. And he just didn't have to work again, and that is where you should be. But it's an unjust world, Sarah.
Well, that's what you've paid me for up until this point. You hired me.
Oh, right. Now you don't have to work anymore.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I also do SciShow stuff.
Yeah.
And Crash Course film stuff.
Yeah.
Besides being shit pinata
Coiner.
coiner. Yes.
And Caitlin Hofmeister, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Producer of SciShow.
Yeah, I produce SciShow, and I get to schedule all the holy fucking sciences. Which is
You
really
get to
fun.
schedule everything.
Yeah.
I am insulated from the logistics of SciShow. So sometimes I'll come in and I'll be like, oh, only 4 scripts. And then like there's like, I'm so sorry. I don't like there's all these things and I'm like, I don't care. It's fine. I don't need to know.
Yeah,
I don't want to know. I just want to shoot the scripts that you give me and do my job and you do your job and I don't ever want to think about scheduling SciShow ever. That's why you exist.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a funny. Yeah, it's a puzzle.
I bet.
Yeah.
It is a puzzle.
Yeah.
A lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah.
It's
lots of
basically it's like
conversations.
is it like playing Sim Airport but with SciShow? Because Sim Airport is a lot to handle.
Yes, I could run an airport now, I've decided. Just kidding. No, I could not do that.
I can.
Yeah.
I've played
Yeah.
Sim Airport for like 5 hours now. I can totally run an airport.
I'm so glad that you finally got to do that because we just put out the bloopers for SciShow, and one of the bloopers was you talking about wanting to play
Sim
Sim
Airport.
Airport for 10 hours, so at least you got to do part of it.
I have not played for 5 hours yet, but the game has been running for more than 5 hours because you
can leave
passively generate income so that you can build more airport. It's real fun. This is episode of Holy Fucking Science sponsored by Sim Airport as well as Big Sky Brewing. It's not actually.
Big Sky Sim
It's $20
Airport.
on Steam and available on OS X or PC. And basically, you run an airport, so it's a real good time if you're me.
Do you think, what if it was like a production company and you had to run it? Do you think you would like it as much, or you'd be like, get out of here?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
In fact, like when I first tweeted about Sim Airport, people were like, I thought that you meant that because I was deciding whether to answer emails in real life or in Sim Airport, and people thought that I was deciding whether to answer the in-game emails, and I was like, wow, if there is a sim that goes as advanced as like answering emails from your like vendors and contractors, I do not want to play that sim. Like I do not need to answer more emails, but glad to now have so much expertise in airport layouts and understand a little bit more about how remarkably difficult it must be to make one of those things work.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
apparently financially rewarding because I've made millions of dollars.
Apply to the FAA now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
Anyhow, today on Holy Fucking Science, our topic is citizen science. So things that non-scientists, like science things that non-scientists did or do, and how like what is a scientist really? Because I was once a scientist, but I feel like I'm now a non-practicing scientist.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
I feel like once I exited the lab and academia, then
You can't call yourself a scientist anymore?
I want to call myself a scientist because I put in the hours and the degree.
Yeah.
But non-practicing scientist is a good
Yeah.
way to put it.
Yep. Yeah, this is how I feel. But there is this weird distinction that hasn't existed for that long between the average human and a scientist. It used to be that a scientist was just like a rich guy who happened to have enough money and interest to boil things and count.
Yeah,
a lot.
and keep notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep a lot of notes.
I
Yeah.
think they were called gentleman scholars or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. Very elitist sounding.
Well, I mean, it was a very elitist
Yeah.
thing. Like, in order to have enough money to do the work that like Lavoisier did, you have to have a employee who blows glass for you. Like that's like he had people who worked for him, like a team of people that just made glassware. Because it's not like that stuff existed. It's not like you could like go in the catalog and order, a boiler or like a reboiler or a condenser. Like he made all that stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You should play
Anyway.
Sim Gentleman Scholar.
Dude, I had that idea for a game a long time ago and think about it all the time. Like, someone should develop this because I'm not going to. But I would love that. I would love to be Sim Gentleman or Woman Scholar. Lavoisier, by the way, had an assistant who was extremely important, his wife, who did a lot of his work but didn't really get credit. Anyway, citizen science is like, okay, there's science. Like, you don't have to be a scientist to do science. You don't have to have a PhD to do science. You don't have to have a degree at all to do science. And there's many different ways that this has happened over the years and how it happens now. Many things have been discovered by people who are not like trained scientists. So each of us has come with a tale of citizens doing their science and advancing the cause of science. And I think that we should start with the person who most recently touched a dollar bill. It wasn't me because I haven't had money in my wallet for like 6 months.
Yeah, we're just reliant on plastic.
Mine was definitely this week.
This week, Ceri?
Mine was we have an accountability brunch where we like do things, creative projects outside of work.
Yeah.
And
That was a
I had
month
to
ago.
pay money a month ago because I didn't do my thing. So I touched a dollar then, beginning of May.
Oh my God! It's been a month since you touched a dollar bill.
Probably.
Wow!
I've touched money within a month, not a dollar bill.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I am shocked that. Okay, well, I've touched a dollar bill within the week, like probably
Yeah.
2 or 3 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last one I gave as a tip to somebody, and then I was like, now I'm out of currency.
Yeah.
I don't go out to eat or like buy things, I guess.
just live.
I just coined really great phrases.
Yeah,
I don't eat
I don't
and I don't
buy things or eat. Yeah, apparently Ceri is
I'm a
not
robot?
a human. Yeah,
Secretly.
secret robot. That just
Non-practicing
explains a
scientist.
lot.
Non-practicing scientist, also a robot. Yes.
Well, anyway, I thought that was going to be easier, but it seems to me like Ceri should go first.
Yeah.
Oh no, you will last.
don't
I
know.
feel like I'm going to go. Like, me or Lou?
Yeah, I'm probably number 3. It's
Okay.
probably been within the last couple of weeks.
Okay, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I've never gone first.
Oh yeah.
Ah, this is exciting. Okay. First of all, so there are a lot of citizen science projects that are running, and I just want to tell you about a couple of the weirder ones
Awesome.
that exist. But I have another thing that's not what we would consider citizen science now, but it's from the past. It's from the 40s. So one of my favorites is nope. So there's one called the Kinsey Reporter, which is an app on which you can report some sex that happened. Mm-hmm. It can be sex that happened in your own home or just sex that you witnessed somewhere.
So like a neighbor thing, you're listening in and you're like, yep,
I
you're
don't
doing
know.
it.
I think that if you saw, like, if you see it in public, and it's not only sex, so like public displays of affection, or
Okay.
so it's just a way to keep and like I don't think that it caught on enough to get really useful data.
Yeah.
But Kinsey Reporter is an app that you can just report sex. It could be like, and you can you can tag it. And also, like, there's a website that'll like show you when sex happens.
Wow.
Like when somebody uploads to the Kinsey Report, it'll be like, sex happened in Nicaragua at this time between 2 people of this gender, and here are like the tags: lust, satisfaction.
Can it be like a local thing as well? You're like, in Missoula, I want notifications of...
Yes.
Yes.
Zero in on
Okay.
it.
But there is not enough data.
Okay.
So I think that if like it had caught on enough for people to be like really enthusiastic about sex reporting, that kind of granular data would be available, but it's not really.
What though if there was lots of like public sex? Like one time my friend and I saw people having sex in the park, and she was like wanted to tell everybody because she was like so flabbergasted. So I can see like
I have probably told the one story of witnessing public sex. It's in my top 50 stories for sure.
Yeah, because it's such a weird.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
oh. It's like that's a weird place to be doing that weird dance.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's sex.
Well, I mean, it is a dance.
It's a bit of a dance.
It's a
Yeah.
naked dance.
There's also the naked dance. That's what they call it. There's also the Center for Research and Interdisciplinarity has one called Age Guess.
Oh, I did that one.
You
Yeah.
did it?
Yeah.
You participate in it?
No, I don't have my picture on it, but I guessed other people's ages.
Yeah.
It's
You
but then,
you can upload a picture of yourself and tell it how old you are, and then people guess how old you are.
Oh,
but
that's depressing.
But
That's-
I was doing it on this like then it starts to like a lot of people do different ages pictures of themselves.
Oh.
And so then you kind of like get to know that person a little bit if you see
So they
multiple
like make
pictures of
themselves
them
up to look a little older.
or their older pictures or something like
okay,
that. So
yeah,
then
yeah.
I got good because I was like that kid was like a kid in the 80s.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
now
can tell that's
you
an
know,
old picture by the picture.
Yeah.
not
So
by
then
the
I could try
face.
it. Then I could like age him a little bit.
Yeah, I like that that's useful enough, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Like it's like the
It
kind
was,
of
like,
thing that you can get
satisfying.
people to do because you're like, yeah, I'll totally. It's like a Hot or Not website, but old.
Yeah.
I feel like Hot or Not websites could actually be useful scientific tools for some things as well.
Yeah.
I would be really interested if Tinder would open some of its data on like what.
Like, are you more attractive if you have a fish in your hand? And in what parts of the country
yes,
is that more
are you
attractive?
holding a gun? Have you recently killed an elk? We are obviously from Montana. Just
Yeah.
Tinder in Montana is like, wow, there's a lot of people who kill animals
Yeah.
for fun.
Yeah, now
Or
that
at
you
least for their
mention
Tinder
that,
profile.
Yeah.
if attraction is completely just geographic,
Right.
you know, if you're just
there's
this is
not-
all you're used to.
It'd be really interesting to see like how Montana Tinder profiles would do in other parts of the country.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That'd be a fascinating study because I like that like in New Jersey people are gonna be like no
Yeah.
no
That was
whoa.
my experience. It was horrifying just to see like Montana.
Like,
Hunting
moved to
and-
Montana and you're like what
No,
did I
thank
get
you.
myself into? Is there a Tinder for Californians in Montana?
Wow, that's a relocation advice, right?
Yeah.
If you're thinking about relocating somewhere, just check out a Tinder app. It's like, let's see.
Can you do that? Can you tell it to show you Tinder from other places? I don't know how
I guess
Tinder
so.
works. I'm
I
really
don't
old.
either. Yeah.
I tried it for all of like 3 hours and then stopped.
I've only used Tinder on other people's phones.
Same.
Which is very fun.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh.
Matthew, I think you're gonna love. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, you're gonna like her.
That's hilarious. I've made a lot of matches for Matt before because I'm like, he will let you do that.
He
yeah.
will. He totally
Yeah.
will. I'm like at the hockey game
Yeah.
with Matthew and like swiping his Tinder. Oh, good times. Having a terrible pizza. Anyway, the actual thing that I wanted to talk about, we have hockey in Missoula, unsurprisingly. So do you guys know who Hedy Lamarr is?
Yeah.
Is that a
the
familiar
name? Yeah, the name does sound familiar.
She's an actress from she was a big deal in the 40s and 50s. Her actual name's Hedwig. Actually
Oh.
named Hedwig. She's Czechoslovakian. Which isn't even a thing anymore. So she had an early career in Czechoslovakian film, and then she fled from Czechoslovakia, partially because of controversy around being naked in a movie, but partially because she did not like her husband, who was an arms manufacturer. So he sold ammunition and like made war stuff. So this is in the 30s. So she moves to Paris. She has a whole film career. And she becomes a big deal. And by the 40s, she's like a famous movie star. She's like an MGM movie star and super big deal.
Still
And-
with her husband at this point.
No. She had fled.
Oh, God,
fled.
okay.
He's
Until
back
he
in
was, like,
Czechoslovakia.
okay.
So she is now free, but but World War II starts happening, and she's wealthy and she's successful, and she doesn't want, but she feels like really weird about it, because like now you've got this like you're living this lovely life, but like people are dying all over the place, right? So here's a conversation. This is from her partner in this endeavor. We began talking about the war, which in the late summer of 1940 was looking most extremely black. I love how people talked. Hedy said that she did not feel comfortable sitting there in Hollywood making lots of money when things were in such a state. She said that she knew a good deal about munitions and various secret weapons because of her old husband,
Yeah.
and that she was thinking seriously of quitting MGN and going to Washington, D.C. to offer her services to the newly established Inventors Council. And she did not do that, but what she did do was she worked with her friend who's a pianist, George, for all I can tell, Anthill, but I'm sure it's not. And so they knew about this problem where when like a torpedo was launched from a ship, it's controlled by radio frequency. But if you are on one radio frequency, the enemy can find that frequency and then broadcast a very loud noise, basically, in that same frequency, and then disrupt the radio
jam your-
communication. They jam it, and then the thing goes off course. So they developed this system that on both the torpedo and back on the place where that was controlling the torpedo, there would be a thing that would change the frequency that the torpedo was using. And so it would be a constantly varying frequency. So it wouldn't stay on one frequency, but it would shift
they'd match
frequency
each
at the
other.
exact same time. And it was based, because this guy was a pianist, on piano, like player piano rolls.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
So basically very similar to like punch cards.
Yeah.
Where they would have the same player piano roll, and so it would like pop into different frequencies as the roll went by. It was not a thing that actually ever got used, but it turned out to be an extremely useful thing for a lot of different applications. So like currently, like your Wi-Fi router works the same way, not obviously with a player piano roll, but it will change frequencies. Just crank it with a crank to make your Wi-Fi turn on. But it constantly changes frequencies so that it doesn't sit on one frequency that might have a problem. Because if you have like one frequency, there's so much radio interference. So if you have one frequency that doesn't work and it happens to be the one that your router uses, then you have to like go in and change it. So instead of doing that, they have like this constantly varying radio signal. And people who know about this stuff is gonna hate my explanation of it because it's way oversimplified. But basically, they pioneered and patented this idea that ended up being extraordinarily useful in telecommunications and radio stuff. But it was never used in war until literally like this, not player piano, but like the system was eventually implemented for torpedoes in the 1960s.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Hedy Lamarr,
Yeah.
famous hot movie star, also inventor of variable radio frequency stuff, which has very fancy sounding and cool. CDMA is, you might see, is what it is. CDMA was whatever it's called. They received the Electronic Frontier Foundation Pioneer Award and the Bulby Nass Spirit of Achievement Bronze Award, given to individuals whose creative lifetime achievements in the arts, science, businesses, or invention fields have significantly contributed to society. Featured on the Science Channel and the Discovery Channel in 2014.
Okay, so Bulby is a more recent thing recognizing.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and the EFF thing, this is 1997.
Okay.
And in 2014, Lamarr and Heil were posthumously inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So citizens inventing for the military. Yeah.
And just because she wanted to, like that.
Just because
she was like, oh,
she was rich and she knew about secret weapons because of
Yeah.
her weird old husband she hated.
she
for
got
her.
something out of that relationship. Yeah, it's like, Man, now I know weapons technology enough.
Yeah.
Make something myself.
pretty great.
As a
Yeah.
hobby.
Me and my hot Hedwig self. She said of her husband, he was an absolute monarch in the marriage. I was like a doll. I was like his thing, some object of art which had to be guarded and imprisoned, having no mind, no life of its own. And so I'm going to get out of that, become a really wealthy movie star, and then invent missiles.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Super great. Super great. Okay, that's my thing. I feel like, Caitlin?
Okay,
You-
cool.
I feel like you were next on the dollar bill list.
Yeah, I touched a dollar bill recently. Citizen science is so awesome and it has a lot of history. And so but I also, a lot of it is like squeaky clean. So I was like, what can I talk about for holy fucking science? So I was joking about all of us putting our poop together earlier, but
There's more poop.
Yeah.
There's more poop to come in the episode.
Is that the later gift? I'm
yeah,
just a brick.
parting gift.
What's happening?
So, so I was thinking about it, like citizen scientists, like you can be a part of a study and you're like a volunteer, but you're not a scientist. Like a citizen scientist is someone who's keeping track of all the data and like doing some work and analyzing it. And so I read about this guy named Richard Sprague in Seattle, and he's turned himself into his own research project. And Lou and I were kind of talking about going down like rabbit holes for this. And so I learned about Richard Sprague and then like a bunch of other things too, and like kind of got into the microbiome because he just like keeps his own poop and all kinds of things to study himself and keep track of things.
Does he keep his own poop forever? Is he like Howard Hughes in it?
No, that's what I thought.
He just got like jars and jars
That's
in the
what
basement?
I imagined. So then I was like, well, how do you send your own poop to get studied? And then like he like teaches people how to like set up, like he's like a tech nerd. Like he used to work for Microsoft. And so it's like, and everybody's like has Apple Watches and apps to keep track of fitness. So you can do that to like keep track of your microbiome and like what's going on in your body. So he is a QSer, which is a quantified self. And it's someone who keeps track of what's going on with them and then also shares it with the public. And so that's a way that you can be a citizen
So
scientist.
like a QSer is a thing enough that it has a word.
Yeah.
Where it's like people who study, who like keep like one, their hobby is keeping track of their things.
Yes. And then sharing that publicly so that other people
Right.
can compare it.
Right.
And so, yes.
This is like to me, it's always something that I've been fascinated by. Like it's so hard to get really deep data on large groups of people.
Because you study college kids or
Right.
like people who will volunteer
also,
for a
like,
study.
Because like I don't even know, like I couldn't tell you things about how I was a year ago. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know how many colds I've had in the last 10 years. Like
Yeah.
no one knows that. No one knows like the frequency of colds because you can remember, right? Can you
Yeah.
like when was how many colds have you had in the last 5 years? I don't know, about 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 8.
And some of
I
them
don't
might
know.
like seem like a long cold, but maybe it was multiple colds. You
Yeah.
know, like there's a virus.
But if you're a QSer, you freaking know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you keep track of everything.
And you like I had a friend, he's dead now. He was an old dude who would go like every day. He would go out and he would like read his rain gauge and he would read like he would take data
my
on like the wind
grandparents
speed and like so like he was that way about his land, but like this is doing that. But like here's how my shit was every day for my
Yeah.
whole life.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fascinating.
It's super fascinating.
Like, how else
yeah.
are you going to know? There's apps to track your poop for people with colitis because it's important. Your doctor wants to know. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right. There are also, so then, like, the rabbit hole that I went down, there are also, like, you can be a QSer and you can also, like, do it for your pets. Like, people send in their pets' poop to be studied and to study. That's how I found out
So
that
you're
there's
like
a difference between IBS and IBD.
You're like spending money on this. It's not like
Yeah.
people are like, oh, yeah, send us your poop and like it'll be good for our research.
Well,
like,
I found one website that you're basically paying for, like, shipping. But other than that, it's pretty
Really?
free. And so then what you're doing is, like, and there's a video on how to take a fecal sample and send it in. And
So
I'm
you watched
yeah.
that video.
yeah,
I'm imagining this infomercial style where it's
it was a little bit not
Man.
too skeezy. It was just this like British
well, not
guy.
skeezy, but you know what I mean.
But
Just-
yeah,
I
he
gotta
wasn't like
tell
trying
you,
to sell you, but
The first time I had to send in a fecal sample,
yeah. So
I have a disease for everyone who doesn't know. They didn't have YouTube videos. The doctor had to like explain it to you uncomfortably and not super clearly because of how uncomfortable it is.
Let me explain
And I'm
it.
just like,
Tell me.
that doesn't sound very possible to me.
Yeah.
How do I get the thing in the thing, and how much of it do you need?
Because I imagined that it would be like taking a pregnancy test or something. So you're like holding something or a cup.
Yeah.
But then for this system to like just study the DNA or
okay.
something
Yeah,
is what
it's very small
It's
sample.
very small, and they were
okay.
like, if you fill the tube, it's too much. Like we actually don't know what to do with that. And so it was like,
It's like, now we got a vial of shit. That
Yeah,
we can, Great, thanks. Like more poop than we need is
Yeah.
not what we're looking
Yeah.
for. No one wants that.
so it was like I called it the wipe and swab. So you like swab off of toilet paper instead of
I would have thought that would contaminate the sample. But
yeah, but
With-
apparently
with,
not.
like-
And
it's like, you're a tree.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
maybe.
Well, one of the things is that if the thing you want to send in is too dry, then you should rub harder. Was the advice,
Wait,
or
what?
wait until another day. So like if you don't have enough poop, then
Right.
they were saying wipe harder. It was like giving like
Rub
wipe advice, which is awesome.
So I can use like I'm curious about this now. I want to do this if it's free, if it's just the cost of shipping.
Yeah, I think so. And then they send you back
It's like 23andMe, but for your microbiome.
totally. And so then
Did you do this?
I did not,
Oh,
but
What's the website?
but I kind of want to. It's called American Gut. And it shows you like age breakdowns and things like that. And so like obviously babies have like a less diverse microbiome, and then people as they get older get more diverse. But if you drink alcohol once a week, you tend to have a more diverse microbiome, which I thought
Well,
was
then
really
I'm so glad that I
interesting.
drink alcohol exactly once a week for holy fucking science.
You're on track. And then Michael Pollan did his like American Gut, the guy who wrote like Omnivore's
Yeah.
Dilemma and stuff, and he has a very diverse
If I was gonna get a fecal
microbiome.
transplant, and I would pay like $5,000 for Michael Pollan's poop.
Yeah. Well, and apparently his switched a
Pollan,
little
if
bit
you're
after he
listening.
took some antibiotics, so make sure you time it right.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it like breaks down like how people's like if you're like if you have antibiotics like within a week, then it changes your microbiome a lot. But then like within a month, within a year, it pretty much stabilizes. And then it's definitely like this is called American Gut, but they took samples from like Venezuela and Malawi and like compare that to
False advertising.
and so, sure. But it's just funny because it's like they're like American Guts are all very similar to each other,
Really?
except for babies. Like, because babies are all brand new, and they think that like it's probably because we all eat the same kind
Right,
of
very
things.
similar food. And,
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would think there. I mean, I'm sure there's some diversity, but it's hard.
Oh yeah.
Well,
But
wipe and swipe and ship it off. I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, remarkably, when you said wipe and swipe, when I was drinking, like the moment I was swallowing my beer, I actually did feel a little bit like
Oh, no,
not swallowing.
Oh,
I was like, now I don't want this in my mouth. I don't want to be drinking right at this moment. But yeah, that's not how we did the fecal sample when I did it for the
Oh, yeah.
doctor. They needed
Did
more
you
than that.
like a cup?
Yeah, there was a cup. Oh man,
Now I'm curious.
gotta
My
be better ways.
ecology TA, it was a great class. He studied the microbiome, and he was his own test subject, so he was studying his own poop, but he was like
Awesome.
a scientist doing science. But he was just like, I didn't want to ask my friends for their poop, so I'm studying my own poop. But I
Yeah.
never asked him how he got his samples. Everyone else was grossed out. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, totally. And ecology, like it's just like a smaller ecological system.
I had a friend who like read an article about microbiome, and she was like, Hank, I have really good poops. I have to like, I know that I have really good poops. If you ever want a good pooper's microbiome, just let me know. And I was like, wow,
What a sweet
that's very, very intimate of you. but very sweet.
I love that we have these microphones now, so we can just whisper in there and just,
We got new microphones.
Yeah.
If it sounds different, I hope it sounds better because it wasn't inexpensive.
Yeah.
I got nice
ASMR poop
I
talk.
yeah.
Don't whisper about your poops, Lou.
Wipe and swab.
I mean,
wipe and swab.
wipe and swab. It must be freeing to know that I can't fucking fire you.
yeah,
Do whatever you want right now.
I know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it was really cool because it's not like people who usually give poop samples do so because they have a disease or need something, and so it's like hard to get
Right.
like a baseline for quote unquote normal. Yeah. And so
Gotta get Michael Pollan's poop.
yeah.
Did he report that he was a good pooper? Did you say that?
I don't know. They just took him because he's famously like
Right. Got
like
good,
has
good
a
food.
diverse diet, you
Right.
know, and they say that like eating more plants makes your microbiome more diverse. So they wanted to study him. And then he was on antibiotics. And so then they took samples from him before and after, and it changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if someday toilets will just all be collection, like sample collection
Oh,
things. So like your waste
Oh.
doesn't go to a waste treatment plant. It's like
yeah, I bet you Germany would figure that out first.
There's like
Yeah.
a little
Look at
Apple
you,
Watch
Angela.
sensor down
Uh-huh.
there.
Yeah.
It's just like it hits it and it's like, ooh, I got some news for you. Chlamydia.
Oh, God.
It's just like, just so you know, I detected some ass cancer, and
Yeah.
you might want to go see the doctor. Some like absolutely, I think that will totally be the case, and I think that also like it doesn't seem unlikely to me that there will be a little thing that you'll do once a month where you prick your like bleed onto a thing, and it'll be like, you don't need to see the doctor 99 times
Yeah.
out of 100, and then sometimes it'll be like, I'm not saying that you need to worry, but
I've called the doctor for you already.
Automation.
yeah. But also, doctors don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
We've robotified that as well. Here's your cocktail. I did one time read. I think it's okay to tangent about a company that wanted to take the stuff from the porta potty companies, and maybe it was a porta potty company itself, because there is a number of useful and expensive compounds that are excreted from humans, and they wanted
Useful
to
for what?
what
Useful for what?
Useful for I'm talking to my ass here because this was like 10 years ago. Yes, good job, everyone. So I don't 100%, but it was like gold. What? I feel like was one of them, but there was also
Wow,
like
literally mining your shit for gold.
yeah.
Wow.
But I don't see why there would be a higher concentration of gold in my body than in just water.
Yeah.
But also there were things like pharmaceuticals that they could maybe like, if you take a lot of
Whoa.
Xanax, maybe we're gonna reuse that. We're like
Oh my God.
Oh man, and it's like
Or,
you're
like,
like I have to
hormones,
wait in the
like-
long
Right.
line because I'm on Xanax, so I have to go to the Xanax bathroom. Like,
but you get paid.
yeah,
You get like
yeah,
$20.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How much is Xanax? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Can I just drink your pee? Will that calm me down? What is?
Maybe. In some cultures, I'm sure.
Too, I guess.
Yeah, could report that on Kinsey Report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double whammy.
It wasn't sexual. I was just trying to relax. She takes a lot of Xanax, Dr. Kinsey.
Oh, man. We all need to do it because I'm going to do it, and I don't want to be the only person in Missoula that's reporting sexual activity. So,
You will know. We'll be like, well, Lou did it.
yeah, yeah.
It's just like lose house.
Yeah, yeah. It would be interesting, even for me, like, oh, yeah, I did have sex that day. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's another good example of like it's hard to get data. It's like how many times have I had sex in the last year? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something normal people, unless you're Amelie. If you're
Does Amelie
Yeah.
count?
She is trying to think of the different possible ways of finding out public sex.
Wait, who's what? Are we talking
Amelie,
about?
it's a movie. It's a French movie. It's a weird
I
movie.
remember. I thought that's what we were talking
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
but then I did not remember that
She
part. I
needed
remember
that
the gnome
app.
and I remember the cute French girl. I did not remember the public sex.
She needed the app. So I'm thinking
Okay.
from then till now, a
They should
different
have- they should have
world we're
called
getting
it-
into.
They should have called it Amelie instead of Kinsey Reporter.
They should have.
Then it made it sexier and people would have done it.
We should make our own app.
Yeah, Kinsey Reporter is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amelie is like, I did it.
And then it just marks each spot on the map with a little gnome.
Yes. Perfect.
It's just like a gnome pops up every time sex happens.
Yeah.
It's good. Sex happened.
I have to do this now. And then I have all the free time now. I can do that.
Yeah.
Lou's going to school, so I'm sure you're
Yep.
going to have tons of free time.
Tons of free time to make an app that just reports sex. Perfect.
Oh, man. Well, if you ever want to sponsor a podcast.
Yeah. Is it a free app? The Kins?
Yeah,
Is it?
it's
Okay.
free.
Damn it.
You can't undersell free.
Yeah, I know. Charge $1 maybe. Well, I mean, if you make it sexy, it should be
Yeah.
fine.
That's
Right.
Okay. Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ceri hasn't touched $1 in a
I
Yeah.
feel like I've lied about my dollar touching
Yeah,
now. I just haven't thought
Ceri
about it. Yeah.
basically does not consume, as far as I can tell.
I try to minimize my footprint, but this is
good.
a little extreme, maybe.
Yeah, to have not. Well, I will bring up the fact that you did say, I don't go out to eat. And then you said, or buy things. And I don't know if that was, I don't go out to eat and I don't buy things, or if I don't go out to eat and I don't go out to buy things. Do you buy things, Ceri?
I do purchase things once in a while. I get groceries, so I do buy groceries.
So you go out to buy groceries. You don't just like get Amazon
Amazon
delivery.
Fresh.
Amazon Fresh delivery, and it's just like Ceri hasn't left the house since
She's on
2010.
Soylent.
No, I leave the house. I think my longest time without going outside was like 5 days or something like that in college. It was a dark time.
A long time.
It was a
Yeah.
dark time.
That's a long time. That's a good one. What's the longest time you've ever gone without going outside? It's a good conversation starter.
Yeah, probably just a weekend. That's all I can think of. 3 days at most. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, like if you're sick
I-
or something.
I try to go outside.
Yeah.
It's
I was
nice
like, I
out
feel
there.
like in airports is like the longest I'm ever like not in
'Cause they
outside.
like shuttle you into the thing, and so
Yeah.
you're like, even when you're on that walkway between the airport and the plane, you're still inside.
Yeah.
I love living in a small town because sometimes you just walk onto the plane. You
I
just,
know,
like,
it's the best.
You like go outside and you're like, here I am with an airport around me
Yeah.
and the air, and then it's like here's a staircase that I walk up to walk into a plane.
Yeah, that's the best when you're getting home too. When you haven't been outside in a long time,
Yeah.
you're like, cow smell.
Yeah. It's very Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
Yeah.
every time I get off the plane. Anyway.
When you walk,
you also
when you
have a
actually
trunk
walk
full of
down the
skulls.
stairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I smell cow. Okay, so anyway, to make it official, I thought I would turn in my parking pass.
Oh,
and
your
it's-
parking pass.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so sad.
You're probably getting
You
towed
should
right
sign
now.
it. We could hang it up. And be like, for all the people who have left.
Yeah, this is what you have to look forward
Just
to
the
when you leave.
voluntary ones.
Yeah.
Stefan, who I'm sure I will someday fire. He doesn't get one of those. I'm not going to fire you, Stefan. You're great.
Okay, so
Yes.
I have a question.
What?
Why do you think humans are the dominant species on this planet?
Are you saying that why do I think that happened, or why do I think that?
No, why do you think that happened?
We can pass information efficiently.
In what way?
A bunch of ways, but mostly this way.
Vocal?
Yeah.
Yeah, vocal
language.
communication. The reason I bring that up is because I was studying whale songs and communication. Up until recently, we're realizing how incredibly complicated those clicks and whirls and hums are. There is it was with Scientific American setting up Whale FM to try and categorize and tag different whale songs from orcas and pilot whales. And as they're doing this, it was first a human automated process. Not surprisingly, they implemented a algorithm to better categorize these things and compare it to other whale songs. They found out that the killer whale is, in fact, the most proficient spy because it can pick up other whales' languages imitate it and begin to speak cross to different species. And more interesting,
Multilingual.
Yeah. So it went into some more intricate things, like a calf whale of a humpback whale will hum and whisper to its mother because they don't want to let out what's going on.
Yeah.
Orcas can,
orcas eat baby humpback whales.
Exactly.
So like, you don't want to be like, hey, I'm a baby humpback whale.
right. But
into the ocean.
They figured out that this is happening, so they'll whisper out into the background and then trick them and begin to hunt them that way.
Oh God!
So
there's some videos of killer whales hunting baby whales, baby humpbacks.
Yeah.
And do not watch them.
And seals and anything else.
So
They
sad.
really are the.
You can eat the fuck out of a seal. I don't care. Don't eat a whale.
Baby.
Don't eat a baby whale.
So
Have you guys seen the video of the Boston
No.
Yes,
looking at the
I have.
sunfish?
yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a baby wheel. Why are you looking?
Because it's there's so many heartbreaking things. Anyway.
Oh no, I'm talking about a different thing.
Oh.
I'm
That's
talking
not-
about
that's not
those
sad.
guys from Boston who saw a sunfish and they didn't know what it was and they fucking freak out and it's the like third best video on YouTube.
Just because
Oh,
of the
okay.
thick
ama-
accents?
They are really excited about this thing and they don't know what it is. And at one point he's like, "It's a baby wheel," and I'm like, "What the fuck do you think that's a baby whale or possibly wheel?" It's so good.
Okay.
Just look up Boston sunfish. But
sunfish.
that is much better thing to watch than humpback whales getting hunted
Oh,
by orca,
admittedly,
which are
admittedly.
super fucking. It's so. Oh my god, you will never look at a killer whale the same way again. You're like, you are off the list, you fuckers. Like
Yeah.
you like endangered. Good. Don't eat a fucking baby whale.
But they are so incredibly intelligent. Just
Yeah.
it's staggering how they're able to do. They can speak to dolphins. Dolphins speak back. Whether they're sending where their hunting grounds are, whatever. They're finding out now. The more that we get into this and categorizing these different patterns.
So that's where the citizen science comes in, is that people like
so
record them and then...
Whale FM is where it started. But now they're
Okay,
finding out
cool.
this huge amount of data from all of these recorded whale songs from the 70s up until now that they're beginning to figure out that with more human interactions, those specific whales have been able to communicate with humans more efficiently than humans are to the orca. So we're finding this out with beluga whales, for instance. They're able to change their vocal patterns to sound like a human voice.
What? Freaky.
Yes. So orcas are now beginning to do the same thing with more interaction. That's what they're beginning to figure out, is that they will be able to mimic the human voice and communicate before we are to it without the use of technology. Because we don't have those vocal muscles that they do.
All right.
Anyway, killer whales.
I did not know any of that.
Yeah. Yep. It's
fucking awesome.
It makes me think of Douglas Adams, where if you're familiar with
So
the
long
author.
and thanks for all the fish.
Exactly. They're gonna figure out. Oh well, thank you. We're off.
Yeah.
Hairless apes.
I think about that sometimes with like Enceladus. Like if there's like life happening down there. And they're like, we're gonna be like, hey, and they're gonna be like down there like making baskets and shit, just like totally like oh, hi.
Found
But it
us.
is amazing. Like it is amazing. Like we have no idea, and we have no way of knowing
Exactly.
how smart they are.
Mm-hmm. Because we haven't figured out how to communicate with them efficiently.
Yeah.
Without the use of technology, anyway.
Yeah, well, and the fucking killer whale should know better, is what I'm hearing, because they speak humpback, so don't fucking eat them.
Oh, yeah.
Have a seal.
Maybe they'll evolve socially, but
Yeah.
maybe not.
Maybe
they're
not.
just-
I mean, we eat humpbacks. What am I? Who
Yeah,
am I to say?
exactly.
Humans
That's
do
a
it
good
too.
point.
But we didn't like whisper them to them, be like,
I know the
"Come here,
sociopathic.
baby, I have
yeah.
some candy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
terrifying.
Well, you know, it's to each their own, I guess.
I mean, if I'm in the ocean and
Teach
I
their
see
own baby whale.
Well, yeah.
Baby
That's like a
whale.
perfect child book, isn't it? Children. Anyway.
The perfect
Baby
child book is
beluga.
eating baby whales.
No. The title. The title. Just to whisper to baby whales.
Whisper, whisper,
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
and then the last page you drown it and consume it over the course of the next week.
Oh boy.
It's so sad. Why did I watch that video?
I don't know.
Oh, God. Catherine was really mad.
I can imagine because they're so peaceful.
Yeah.
But not the orca. Fuck
No.
those guys.
No.
They're called killer whales for a reason.
Yeah, that does the and interestingly, orca do have like different pods have very specific
Oh yes,
techniques for like some will never try to eat.
Right.
Like
I forgot to
hunt for
mention that.
whales.
Not only can they speak across different species, they also have different accents
Dialects?
and dialects depending on their pod.
And different
Yeah.
like rules within their families.
Well,
like, that
probably.
some
rules, but
wouldn't-
like different strategies for survival. So some
Right,
are
okay.
focused on mammals, like marine mammals. Like some are focused on humpback whales. Some are focused on seals. Some are focused on fish. And like they all like one pod would never use another strategy because they've developed a strategy that they use. And there are local humpbacks that stay in the same place
Right.
all the time. Not local
Oh,
killer whales that stay
yeah.
in the same place all the time
Yeah.
and have been there for hundreds of years, as far as we can tell. The same pod, obviously not
Yeah.
the same individuals, and some that are migratory and move all over the place and are like have extremely different behaviors and also different accents.
Right. So they're actually developing into different species. So you have the orca
Yeah.
whale, but they're evolving off into a different tree. It's fascinating, but they're
Yeah.
terrifying as well. 'Cause how
Super
smart
scary.
they are. Yeah.
Super scary animals.
Cool.
Don't put them into pens and
No,
swim around with them.
definitely not.
Is a suggestion I have
Yeah.
for I don't know who.
Whoever's listening.
Yeah.
I grew up in Orlando. I went to those shows.
Yeah, to the trainer, it's like, listen, we've done this like 500 times. I know what I'm doing.
It's I haven't died yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of the people who are currently alive have died. And I think we're moving on.
yeah. Ceri. Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow, us.
wow.
I'm always excited about Ceri. Ceri's like blowing my mind.
This one was harder because one of the most interesting, like weirdest stories I found was just like a story and there was no science that came out of it. So it was like interesting, but not citizen science. But this, I wanted to focus on a project that was not American centric because I feel like a lot of the projects that you hear about, it's like SETI at home where everyone like wires up their computers and has them do processing, or butterfly counting or bird watching or things like that. But there's a research group called Extreme Citizen Science that
I'm
is
excited already.
working.
Do they have skateboards?
That's a dumb name. It's like this very sweet British man who's like heading it up, but it sounds like, man, dudes, let's do some extreme citizen science.
It's like this is like just done like while falling out of airplanes.
Yeah, skydiving. That's all they do. And they work with indigenous tribes that have various degrees of illiteracy. And help them report data and start mapping out their local areas for like very, very useful purposes. And so, I don't know, this just was so cool, especially because I feel like there's this image of, if you talk about indigenous tribes, it's like they're so uncivilized, they would not use technology, or like Western people bring technology to them. And it's all survival based, but they're like incredibly self-sufficient. And this group is interacting with them in a way that they're like bringing them technology and helping them use it to have a better understanding of their environment and help preserve their lifestyle, which is just fascinating and good, and not like those horrible missions where you just like go in and
Yeah.
impose your viewpoints on them. It's like, how can we use this technology and citizen science to like make them into citizen scientists? So this is a kind of geographical information science, and the specific project that I looked into, it's an indigenous people that are hunter-gatherers. They're pygmies in the Republic of the Congo, which is like a Central African country. And this anthropologist named, I think, Jeremy Lewis has been living with them and studying them since 1994.
Wow.
So like a very long time. He's like learned their language, he's learned their culture. And in the decades since he's been working with them and trying to understand them, the government is one, trying to develop the area around these tribes with logging. There's a lot of logging, there's a lot of deforestation. And oftentimes these indigenous peoples are accused of environmental destruction and poaching, and the governments assume that because they're living a more primitive lifestyle, they're not upholding environmental regulations. So they're blaming them for like, okay, you're hunting too many elephants, when really they're usually very respectful of the environment and they have their own rules and regulations. And so this group is basically helping these indigenous peoples track their activities and communicate to logging companies and the government like what's going on. So they created an app and smartphones, and people like apparently they developed it alongside the indigenous people. So because they're illiterate, there's no words, it's all pictures, and they're like decision trees of pictures. And so if they're talking with a logging company, what they can do is like they can walk to a place in the forest that is meaningful to them and then click like an icon of many people, which means it has cultural significance. And then they can click an icon that represents one of the spirits. So that means like this tree is a religious significant thing. And then they can click whether it is a like tree or a path or something that is significant to them. And then the phone stores that data, and whenever it can find a GPS signal, it sends it off and creates a map. And it's like a little location marker on that map being like, this is an important place to us. So when logging companies come through and try and work with them,
And they can compare the data.
They can compare the data and see these entire maps of like a whole civilization's worth of funeral sites and important religious artifacts and important like food resources and hunting resources and springs that they use. And
who developed this? This is amazing.
Was it this guy? Is it like...
It's like this guy and his team, they're from the University College in London, and their group is Extreme Citizen Science, but he's been living with like indigenous peoples in the Congo.
I mean, that's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're going to do some citizen science, but first I'm going to have to live in the Congo for 20 years before I can like know enough to develop an app for people who don't have written language.
Yeah, and what's so cool is that he developed it with them. So he would like show them pictures and be like, and he learned to speak their language, and so he can talk with them and be like, what do you think this picture means? And if they say like, oh, this looks like our spirit, or this is how we would conceptualize that, then he's like, good. But then he could go to another group and be like, what do you think this picture means? And they're like, I don't really know. It's a stumpy thing, but I wouldn't use this to communicate this in this way. And then they redraw their icons. And
yeah, it's so cool because it's like it's taking what you're talking about, like the thing that like is ruining these sites is like the ability to map it that these guys don't have. So they're like, you're not following our rules that we made up that you don't understand. So then they're like, well, these are our rules that we like, and this is how you need to approach this.
yeah,
That's awesome.
And then like they expanded on it. The indigenous peoples liked it so much and like enjoy working with this person and this group that they have started developing other tools to like so that they can report illegal logging. So like when people are cutting down trees that they're not supposed to, that are too short or not following regulations, or when they're poaching and they find evidence of like elephant bodies that they didn't kill, or gorilla bodies, which they don't touch usually, then they can like report that in the same way where it's like bad person. If they saw the weapon used, they can report the weapon used and things like that. And that pops up on the map too so that they can...
Responsible use. Holy fucking science.
Yeah. And it's amazing that like these tools that like have gotten inexpensive and are so robust and not just like the tool themselves, but also the ability to develop for them, like all this stuff. I mean, I'm starting to get old enough that I'm like, wow, look at the things that the young people can do today. We can develop an application that does fucking anything. You know, you can report whether or not you witnessed sex or whether there was a gorilla poacher and what weapon they used. And it's fairly easy to make those things exist really fast, and also provide those tools to people inexpensively.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
curious
cool.
how they're giving these indigenous people the tools. Is it from another donation that's separate from this?
Yeah, it might just be funded by a grant by like the
Could be.
same science.
Because I know there's lots of ways to donate your own cell
Right.
phone, and I'm sure plenty of those people pick up used phones.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, amazingly, people, like, cell phones are not that expensive anymore. They are expensive for Americans because we have very nice cell phones. But if you look other places,
But they're not as recycled or used. It's like once the contract is done, most people are just like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you want an iPhone 4,
right,
with especially if you don't need like a refurbished battery, like
right.
basically free. Like you could, I probably could find somebody who'd give me one for free.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, it wasn't like, I guess it was mind blowing that it exists.
There's
Much
good
less-
people. There's good
Yeah,
people
it was
in the
like
world.
there's like a really good person doing a really good thing with citizen science, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Right, and empowering other people to like empowering people to collect data who otherwise like wouldn't have any voice at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it, Ceri.
Ceri went home with my kid.
Yeah.
So, baby whales,
Baby whales.
don't kill them. They are not ocean sunfish. Different things.
Just learn to speak orca so that you can communicate when you're in
Yeah.
the
It's
ocean.
like, don't
Yeah.
fucking eat me.
Hey man, I'm cool. Just leave me alone.
I wonder if there are people who are like practicing it. Like
I'm
some
sure there
marine
are some,
biologist
yeah.
just like alone in his room, like
Decoding. Yeah.
like trying to,
It'll be the next Rosetta Stone.
yeah.
I mean,
Duolingo.
Yeah.
how long ago? Like, when was freaking what was it called? Sequest. When was Sequest?
Oh my
supposed
God,
to have
I forgot
taken
about
place?
that. Yeah.
Oh, right. Maybe we're in it now.
Are we getting to? We're probably beyond where Sequest.
I feel like
was.
it's 2015 for some reason, but
Maybe.
What
I don't
is
know.
Sequest?
Sequest was a TV show
yes.
that was pretty amazing. It starred.
super good.
What was his name from Jaws? The main star from Jaws.
That guy from Jaws, Roy Schneider.
he doesn't
Roy
have
Schneider.
a real name. He's just the guy
He's
from
just the guy
Jaws.
from Jaws.
Everybody forgot.
But there was a speaking dolphin,
Yeah, Darwin.
Darwin.
2032.
Oh, okay.
So we have. Wait.
No.
Set in quote the near future, the year
Oh.
2018.
Maybe we're there.
Eve of Sequest.
Yeah, maybe
we are
are.
at the eve of Sequest. Soon, yeah, and they had this talking dolphin named Darwin who had like a thing on his head that translated, and he'd be like, "Sorry, Lucas, that shit's not good this week. You'll be okay. We love you."
I kind of want to do a SciShow. I don't know what it would be on.
Just you want me to make that voice on
Yeah.
SciShow?
And then the dolphin dance.
dolphin head.
Dolphin. Yeah, we'll just do one just on, I don't know, animal speech capabilities.
Yeah.
Reference
And whale.
Sequest.
Whale dialects. Would be
Whale
good.
dialects.
Whale
yeah.
dialects. Yeah, Lou just gave us the whatever.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Lucas Woleszczak, a teenaged computer genius placed aboard Sequest by his father. That's a good. It's basically exactly Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Underwater.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, it's good. I did enjoy it though as a child.
Is that on Netflix now or somewhere?
It must.
You should be able to
Why
stream
wouldn't?
us.
Well, yeah, everybody.
I don't
Probably
know.
on
Netflix
YouTube.
changes their schedule all the time.
Yeah. The question is, are we going to have a Sequest viewing party?
Oh, hey.
in 2018.
Yeah.
It is available
is.
on Netflix. everyone.
Subscribe now to Netflix. Watch this show.
Not sponsored by Netflix. Sponsored
Yeah.
by Big Sky Brewing. Thank you, Big Sky Brewing.
Drink a scapegoat and watch Sequest.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us today. To all of our friends here, Lou, thank you.
Thank you.
Caitlin, Ceri, and behind the camera, Hiroka and Stefan. And to all of you who have listened, thank you. And to those of us who are watching, you as well. And the people on the live stream, especially for being Patreon patrons at SciShow, patreon.com/SciShow. This podcast is edited by
I don't think I'll be editing this one.
No, yeah, because this is your last day.
Lou's got to work late today.
So possibly by me, because everybody else is very busy.
Yeah, I think maybe it'll be Sam or Tuna.
Sam's doing weather. I think Tuna's doing the next one after that.
So
Okay.
we
I
don't
don't
know.
know. It'll
who's
be on
editing this
rotation.
Who
one.
knows?
Yeah,
It's
it'll be in
edited
the
by
show notes.
someone from Team SciShow, directed by Lou. Yeah, you definitely told us what to do.
Yep.
Yeah,
made
Lou's
it
idea
happen.
was citizen science too.
Yeah.
Lou picked the.
And we will miss you very much, Lou. Thank you for all of your
It's
work
been an
on
honor.
our show. It's been
Yeah.
freaking great having you around, being your friend. And I look forward to watching you as you take on whatever all the things that are next in life.
All the things.
All the
So many
things.
things.
Do you want to talk about any of them? 'Cause
Sure. I mean, nothing I can say the organization necessarily, but one of the ideas is to create VR for PTSD.
Yeah.
Another one is to continue school for speech therapy. And I'm working with someone, Jeffrey Papos, actually.
Oh, Jeffrey.
Yeah. He's making a citizen science app to record beehives.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we can tell if it's dying or not.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
If you're listening at home, Jeffrey Papos first came to fame for filming and editing a classic
I know.
Vlog Brothers video
Town.
where Hank humps the town.
Yep, that's how I know Jeffrey. That's I was like, I need somebody to film me humping things, and my wife sure as hell isn't gonna do it.
And he made it.
He's a great guy.
He made
He's
it a
great.
punishment. He
Oh
really
yeah,
did.
oh yeah. I humped some things I should not have humped. I was humping somebody's car, and they came out, and they were like,
Oh,
"What
yes.
are you doing?" And I was like, "Is it okay? Like, I didn't hurt it."
I was very respectful. It was fine.
Sensual.
Yeah, reported on Kinsey Report.
Or Amelie.
Or sorry, I didn't mean to step on your app's feet there. So thank you for listening, and thanks to everybody who works on the show. I have been Hank Green,
I'm Lou Winkler.
I'm still Ceri Riley.
And I'm Caitlin Hofmeister.
and this has been
Holy fucking science!